A Rolls-Royce is the most successful amenity car that a fortune can purchase. But do you know how a poor boy made this most luxurious car? Do you want to know how history was made? If so, keep watching this video till the end and subscribe for more such uploads. Here we begin. So, do you know the story behind this famous car? If not, let's talk about it. Frederick Henry Royce was born in Walton in England, and Henry Royce was the youngest of 5 children, and his parents James and Mary ran a flour mill. His father James had obeyed in his father's footsteps, but he lacked enterprise aptitudes, and as a result, incomes were zero, and for several years, the Royce household resided in deprivation. This made their conditions worse, and in 1867, they broke. And during that year, the family shifted to London. And during this time, the 4-year-old Henry Royce already had his first employment as a bird's carer on a regional plantation. That's how tiny genius was. He was determined and hardworking from the very first. Now comes their bad days. So what happened was that in 1872, disaster hit again, and this time, his father passed away. Now all the kids had to labor to make ends meet, comprising the 9-year-old Henry Royce. So he started trading newspapers and distributing telegrams. Henry Royce's early deprivation had serious consequences on him, and by the time he was 15 years old, he had completed only 1 year of school. As a youngster, he started an internship with the Great Northern Railway Works, and his aunt extended him some financial assistance. And you will find that despite not having conventional schooling, Henry Royce comprehended every chance to teach himself. Do you know how? Well, he has done this by studying algebra, French and electrical engineering in his available time. But soon, after almost 3 years, he was compelled to stop due to a lack of cash. After stopping his internship, Henry Royce briefly operated at a tool-making corporation in Leeds and then for the Electric Light and Power Corporation in London. In 1882, he shifted once again, and this time he went to Liverpool, where he operated the Electric Light and Power Corporation. So, do you know what his true intention was? Well, you will find that his true intention was to formulate engineering as his full-time job. So at the age of 22 years, Royce began an enterprise with his fellow engineer colleague, Ernest Claremont. They labeled it F.H. Royce Company. For the next few years, you will find that they operated around the clock to make electrical elements like doorbells and dynamos. The corporation maintained broadening. By 1894, their company was already giving rise to electric cranes. But Royce's curiosity began taking him somewhere else, and those were motor cars. And you must be wondering that while Henry Royce plays a crucial part in the Rolls-Royce story, the brand's title indicates there's furthermore another person that we shouldn't ignore. And let me tell you that this person is Charles Stewart Rolls. Charles Stewart Rolls was born in 1877 in London's wealthy Berkeley Square, and he was the youngest kid of Lord and Lady Langatac. Having cultivated a fascination for engineering from an initial age, he explored mechanical engineering at Trinity College in Cambridge. He understood how to stand out. Rolls earned prestige for playing with motors. Oh, did I tell you that he was nicknamed Dirty Rolls? And who would think Dirty Rolls, along with his friend, could make history, right? And during his research, he was the first undergraduate to acquire a motor car after having toured Paris to purchase a Peugeot Phaeton. And that too at the age of 18. At the time, this was incredibly extraordinary, as most people hadn't even imagined cars yet. After graduating, Charles started functioning on a steam yacht, and after that, at the London and Northwestern Railway. Charles became more enthusiastic about motoring, initiating in salesmanship. With time and financial support from his father, he unwrapped one of the first car dealerships in Britain and named the corporation C.S. Rolls and Company. After its inauguration, he devoted himself to importing and trading Peugeot and Minerva cars for the next successive years. And let me tell you that the business was booming. Now let's come to Royce. He was then operating his corporation, F.H. Royce, and Henry came to be increasingly enthusiastic about motor cars. So he became determined to create a car on his own. And this was found out that Henry Royce had an intuitive fondness for epitome, and having found building faults in the Deauville, he pledged to do better. By the end of 1903, he constructed and created his first petrol engine. And the following year, he drove his first Royce 10 HP motor car into town. And now you know that almost 2 decades have passed since Henry Royce arranged a corporation. His first car was an achievement, so he set out to establish another one and another of the 3 cars he had built. Did he provide one of his cars to his business partner Ernest Claremont? And he sold the other one of his cars to their shareholders, Henry Edmunds. And it was Henry Edmunds who would finally organize the discussion between Rolls and Royce. Henry Edmunds was a shareholder in Royce's corporation and a friend of Rolls. After having purchased one of Royce's cars and started to inform Rolls about it. Meeting between Rolls and Royce. So, how do both geniuses meet each other? So at the time, Royce was disheartened with just being able to negotiate imports in his corporation, so Edmunds organized a conference. While Rolls had constantly wanted 3- and 4-cylinder cars, Royce's 2-cylinder automobile gave rise to a large opinion of him. Within minutes of discerning it, he understood he had found what he was looking for. And after realization, he took the motor car for a drive and decided on the place to auction as many motor cars as Royce could create. And you will find that although both Henry Royce and Charles Rolls were 2 very distinct people, they also gave rise to an incredible duo. And the massive achievement of the cars were directed to the achievement of the Rolls-Royce Corporation in 1906. Then came the blast-off of the 6-cylinder Silver Ghost, and you will find that it was applauded as the best car in the world in just a year. But for this, they furthermore had Charles Friend. Understanding about creating a brand compels vision. So while Henry Royce and Charles Rolls were occupied creating and negotiating motor cars, it was Charles' partner Claude Johnson who took on the position of managing director. He understood it was crucial to broaden the corporation's prestige. And the publicity master that he was, he organized a sequel of tricks to facilitate the neatness and trustworthiness of Rolls-Royce cars. And let me tell you that one of his initial growths for the Rolls-Royce car was that he didn't promote it as one of the best cars, but as the most generous car in the world. It was extremely beneficial. It ascertained Rolls-Royce's outstanding accomplishments and generated global pressure for the world-class engineering. And of course, trading alone will not fetch you just so far. And both Henry Royce and Charles Rolls devoted themselves to transmitting the best quality feasible. But it was particularly Henry Royce who had a talent for propelling himself to the threshold when it came to working. Henry Royce was recognized as a hard employee who never ate appropriately. Unfortunately, these addictions harshly affected his fitness. But surprisingly, he would outlive his career partner Charles by a couple of decades. Rolls-Royce today. So now you know that Rolls-Royce is the most luxurious car brand in the world, with almost 130 dealerships scattered across 40 countries. Furthermore, you will find out that Rolls-Royce is attained by BMW Group, and the brand is however recognized for generating the most costly cars in the world. And for your kind information, Rolls-Royce's lowest category Rolls-Royce Wraith begins at 5 cores. And the most costly, it's up to the consumer. He can make as much costly as he likes. So that's all for today. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and smash the bell icon to get more uploads like this. Until we meet again, take care.